Welcome back to Live at the Legislature, where every week we talk about the issues, bills, and happenings at the Hawaii House of Representatives. With us this week, we have Representative Roy Takumi, who is the chairman of the Consumer Protection and Commerce Committee and represents Pearl City and Waipio. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're about halfway through the session now, a little more than half, and a lot of important bills have already gone through. But what often gets overlooked is some of the consumer issues that are important to people in their daily lives. Let's talk about a few of those that are going through your committee.
Sure.
Starting with House Bill 1623 about national advertisers.
Yeah, that bill, well, before I start on that, James, I think it's important for the community to know, just as you pointed out, that of the thousands of bills that are introduced in the legislature, the media tends to focus in on those big issues.
Yes.
Death with dignity, for example. And yet the legislative process is mainly made up of thousands of these types of bills that affect the daily lives of our people.
I see.
This is one bill. And so what this bill would do is to say that if a franchise restaurant, generally you're talking about Chili's, Outback Steakhouse, and so on, does a commercial on TV that they advertise, you can get 2 entrees for $20 or a dinner for $15.99, and there's a little disclaimer on the bottom that goes on for about 3 seconds that nobody really pays attention to, that it's not available in Hawaii.
Oh.
So you show up at the restaurant, you walk in, you sit down, you get served water, the menus, and then you ask about that special, and the wait help will say, well, it's not available in Hawaii. The dilemma for that consumer, that customer, is what do you do? And so I believe that if 10 customers walk in, you're going to get a few that say, or maybe more than a few that say, you know what, we're here anyway, let's just stay. Now, I don't think they're engaging in a deceptive practice, but the result is it's sort of a bait and switch, that you go in there expecting to get this advertised special and it's not available. The bill would require that these franchise post in a conspicuous location at the front of the restaurant that whatever special you saw advertised is not available. So then you as a consumer have the right to say, well, let's go here anyway, or let's go somewhere else.
Isn't there a disclaimer though in their ads that says it's not available in Hawaii?
Yes. If you read on the bottom, I've paid more attention to it now that the bill was introduced, that it goes so quickly and it's so illegible that it's almost meaningless.
Okay, well, that's a good one. House Bill 1621, product warranty. What is that bill all about?
Yeah, the product warranty bill, again, there are companies in our state, T-Mobile comes to mind, that if you buy a phone from T-Mobile and you take it home and a month later it doesn't work, and so you bring it back to the store and you say the phone doesn't work, it's still under warranty, and T-Mobile will say, okay, we'll take it back, but then they'll charge you a fee anywhere from $5 to $20 to replace a phone that was defective. That is not right to me. Most retailers engage in good business practices. If you return something that's defective, say to Costco, they will gladly replace it for a product that works. But there are some retailers out there that charge the consumer a fee. What this bill will do is to say, if someone returns a product that is defective and still under warranty, that retailer cannot charge a fee to get it replaced.
That's a good one, because you wouldn't even know that was coming. You'd walk in and you'd think
you could awakening.
Just, yeah.
You walk in there and you find out, wait a minute, in this case, the phone doesn't work. They said, well, we're sorry to hear that, but where's your money?
Yeah. Okay, the next one, House Bill 1626, Sunset Memorial Park, which is in your district, I understand.
Yeah, Sunset Memorial Park has been a long-standing issue in Pearl City, but it's not a unique situation in the state. Here's the problem, James. There are a number of cemeteries in our state that are privately owned, and they don't have the capacity, the resources to continue to maintain that cemetery forever. Keep in mind, the business model for cemeteries is you buy a plot for X amount of dollars, and the owner of that cemetery assures and guarantees that your plot, the cemetery in general, will be well maintained forever.
Forever.
Yes. On its face, it seems that's kind of hard to believe.
Yeah.
What happened to Sunset Memorial is that the maintenance went down, it got into some disrepair, the mausoleum got vandalized, and there was really no one that was taking responsibility for it. This bill would accomplish two things. One, it would limit the liability for volunteers or nonprofit organizations that in good faith want to help maintain that cemetery. Now, mainly, this is made up of people whose grandmother or grandfather, whatever, are buried there, and they want to maintain it to look like a cemetery should look. The second part of the bill requires that the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs and the comptroller come up with a plan on how, in a long-term way, that these cemeteries can be maintained. Sunset Memorial in particular, but other cemeteries in the state in general. This is a growing problem across the country, where you have these cemeteries that don't have a side business. The cemeteries that you see that are well maintained and look really nice and so on, generally it's because they do funeral services, they do other types of businesses that help to bring in revenue to maintain the cemetery.
Yeah.
But you have a lot of small, privately owned graveyards that don't have that capacity, and therefore it goes into disrepair.
So this will create a watchdog type overlooking their business and what they do.
Yeah, you know, it all depends what the DCCA and the comptroller come up with. People don't know that the state already maintains a couple of cemeteries that they took over back in the 1940s. So taxpayers, unknown perhaps to them, are paying to maintain these, what was private cemeteries, because unlike Starbucks or a noodle shop down the street, if it goes out of business, oh well.
Yeah.
But a cemetery going out of business, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
You just can't say, oh well, and sell the land.
That's your family.
Yes.
Yeah. That sounds good. Another one is House Bill 2342 on credit reports.
Credit reporting, quick one. I think we all know about the breach that happened at Equifax, where personal information was hacked.
Oh, right.
Approximately 123 million Americans' personal information was vulnerable, including 450,000 people in Hawaii. What this bill would do is to say these credit reporting companies, Experian, Equifax, and so on, if you call them and you say, I want a credit freeze, reporting freeze, or I want to release that freeze, they charge you $5. This bill would say you cannot charge a fee when in fact it was your fault that the information was breached.
When it was the company's fault, it's not your
Absolutely.
fault.
But they do charge you $5.
Well, can we just quickly, we just have a few seconds left, this House Bill 2539, a master plan for public hearings.
Yeah, this was an issue that came up in the Waipahu area with a development that people did not know that the developer could change the plans midstream.
Oh.
This required that master plan, the original master plan, be followed.
I see. Wow, well, there's a lot going on with consumer protection, and like you say, it doesn't always get the headlines, but it's really important to our
Right.
people out there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us again. We'll see you next week on Live at the Legislature.